Hey everybody, this is V. In my continued review of just kind of different and interesting ships, I thought we would talk about the Banu Defender. The Banu Defender is going to be, in my opinion, an important fighter for Pyro. And one of the reasons that it's going to be such an important fighter for Pyro is because it has enormous quantum fuel tanks. And when I say enormous, I mean they are 5 times the size of your standard light fighter and medium fighter. They have 2,700 quantum fuel as opposed to, say, 583, so significantly more fuel. So stepping into the ship, it's kind of interesting. There's a couple of beds. It's all kind of one central common area. There's a couple of different cockpits as well. And you can fly the ship from either one. The co-pilot can obviously operate from either one as well, so very interesting. So yeah, just taking a look, this is, you can see it's incredibly uniquely shaped. It's kind of that clam shape, and I had never flown this ship up until this review, and I did find it very enjoyable. One thing that's interesting about this ship is it does have, for a light fighter, a size 2 shield, which actually makes quite a bit of difference. It's obviously not quite as nimble as, say, your Arrow or your Gladius, but it does have, a little bit of upgraded firepower as well, with 4 size 3. So I put 4 Panther 337s on this thing, and it, does some pretty good damage. So, anyways, yeah, it's a unique ship. It's a Banu ship, obviously an alien design, and it is one of those things where you really should take this ship for a flight and experience it. So one of the things that kind of blew me away when I began to take it for a flight was the way that the claw fronts kind of collapse around you when you take it out of landing mode. So you pull up the landing gear, you can see the two side clam kind of shell things just kind of slide forward, and just to give you an idea, it's a really strange feeling. You can see it here. Until you experience it one time, it's very interesting. I think, it's something that you should absolutely, give this ship a flight one time. Like I said, I think this ship is going to be one of the premier ships in Pyro, specifically because of its range, right? So here it is going into Quantum. And of course, if you've ever flown any of the alien vehicles, you do know that they have kind of their own unique quantum look, and I guess this surprised me a little bit. I thought it was pretty amazing. I really kind of enjoyed it, and you can kind of see some of the design on the sides of those clamps is really intricate. It's a great looking ship after you kind of really do spend a little time around it. I really like the way that the engines are designed there. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I decided to do a couple of just medium bounties with it, and I had for those of you who know, I don't fly combat stuff very often, so it was a little bit of a mixed bag for me, but that's just me. I'm sure people who are combat savvy wouldn't have too much of a problem with it. Now for me, quite honestly, it was a tale of two situations, right? So whenever I was doing the atmospheric missions, I ran into little issues like this. You can see, there's a guy on top of me before I know it, and off we go. So I wasn't able to react in time to that one, and then I came back a second time, and they just beat me up. You can see here, if you look in the lower left there, my ship is messed up pretty bad already, and yeah, in Atmo, I didn't have nearly as good a luck as I had out of Atmo. Out of Atmo, I seemed to kind of, I was able to kind of respond differently and just kind of blow ships up, and that didn't preclude me necessarily from bumping into ships, but I don't do a whole lot of air, or space combat stuff, so it was a lot of fun. Fortunately, the ship was durable enough, so when I blew it, when I made mistakes, it was a little bit forgiving for me. But I do think that with your size 2 shield, with 4 size 3 weapons, and with the incredible range on this thing, it is very, very likely to be a ship that you're not necessarily going to have to require to fly off a Liberator. You may be able to kind of rove Pyro with an efficient drive on it, I was able to take this ship from Microtech to Crusader, and then from Crusader to ArcCorp with a VK00 drive. Now, you know, if you fly any fighters, and if you have a VK00, it's an incredibly short-range package, but nope. That thing was able to fly both those huge distances in Stanton with the thirstiest military VK00 drive on there, and not stop for fuel. You know, so it's an amazing thing. If you use something like an Atlas drive or a Goliath or something like that, some kind of a drive that sips fuel in Pyro, you're going to be able to go forever. This thing's got enormous fuel tanks on it. So, you know, just kind of watching this, you know, of course, like I'm just kind of getting my feet with the combat stuff. Not something I do all the time. Well, you can see I'm starting to kind of starting to dial it in a little bit. Of course, you have your desync and that kind of thing, and just kind of making sure that I fly at a good speed or whatever. Very helpful. Beautiful. You can see there Yella and Crusader in the background there. Absolutely stunning. And yeah, you know, one of the other things I liked about this thing is it's full of decoys. You can see down in the corner I still have 43 decoys left. 42 as I'm kind of trying to countermeasure off some of those missiles. And so, yeah, lots and lots of countermeasures on this guy, and that does help. And so, you know, a little target prioritization probably would have been my friend here. You know, but, you know, situational awareness in combat is something I still need to work on quite a bit. That being said, when you do get this thing lined up, it absolutely does the job. I mean, it absolutely, the 4 size 3 weapons can just really chew stuff up, you know. So if you happen to do, you can see a little desync there, but if you happen to get something in your crosshairs and you let go, it usually doesn't take a whole long time before before they go up or whatever. So that being said, one more strafe here run, I think, and we got this guy, if I'm not mistaken. And bam, there he goes. And the last guy kind of poofed on me, but anyways, this is what I was talking about. If you look at the Arrows and the Aurora and all those ships down there at the bottom, you know, they have a 583 fuel tank, you know, getting up around the 600, 125A at the top there, you see is like a 700. If you get a little higher up here, you can see it jumps. The only thing that's anywhere near the class of this ship, and I don't necessarily classify them as pure, you know, as pure fighters, as the Cutlass Blue and the Cutlass Black. There's nothing even in the ballpark as far as distance goes. It sits at 2750 quantum fuel capacity. So, anyways, I hope that you found this review interesting, and I will see you all around the verse.